we was talking about self-care as it relates to your voice and the importance of establishing your voice. And it's so many different aspects to navigating in this world so that what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're saying, what it is you're trying to communicate about your life, about your, where you're going, your direction, is that it's clearly understood. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. This is the Bajo channel, home of self-care and wellness, and every and anything that'll help you to become the greatest and most powerful version of yourself. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're actually going to continue where we had picked up, where we left off last time. And we were talking about we was talking about self-care as it relates to your voice and the importance of establishing your voice. And it's so many different aspects to navigating in this world so that what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're saying, what it is you're trying to communicate about your life, about your, where you're going, your direction, is that it's clearly understood. And having a voice is so important, and establishing that, of course, is a part of that self-care journey. But today I want to build on that concept, and I want to talk about building self-confidence for effective self-care. When you talk about building self-confidence, right? So let's just break the word down. The basics of it is self-confidence. It's confidence that you have about yourself. Simple. It's not deep or anything like that, but it can be, because your level of self-confidence affects every single thing that you do in your life. And even though it may not look like you have self-confidence issues, self-confidence issues will show up in every decision that you make, in the friendships that you keep, in the relationships that you establish. It's everything. And so today I want to talk about recognizing some of the challenges of building self-confidence, because what I would like to do in our different episodes is, as we speak about certain things, I don't want to take it for granted that you understand my operational definition of it. Not that you don't understand it, but everybody have different operational definitions of a certain word. So when we talk about self-confidence, I'm talking about the confidence that you have within you that is going to be portrayed in the world, and it's going to be reflected and manifested in the world around you, the people you interact with, and it's going to either negatively or positively impact everything that you do. But just to say build your self-confidence is not fair, because how does that happen? How do you even begin to build your self-confidence? Well, I want to start this conversation by talking about some of the things that we have to address before you start building anything. Because you can't build anything when there's a leak somewhere. Like, you can't fill a bucket if there's a hole in the bottom of it, yes? So self-confidence is similar to that. It's like, it's hard to build self-confidence when you're kind of leaking from some different things or traumas that may or may not be directly affecting you. So I want to say, in order to build your self-confidence, one of the first things you have to do is to identify your own self-doubt and your own negative self-talk. I've never needed anybody to beat me down or to make me feel less than, because I did a good job of it all by myself. Just the conversations that I was having within my head was enough to debilitate me and render me useless for any activity moving forward. Just my own negative self-talk the way I doubted myself. And I know that I'm not by myself. I understand that that is a prevailing issue that many of us contend with. And the thing about it is, it's a silent thing that we contend with, which can be most deadly because we're great at hiding. We're great at appearances. We can appear as if we're okay. We can appear like everything is well, and it's not. And so that in itself can eat away at your progress, because as long as you're looking like you're doing okay, and as long as it's looking like you're confident, then nobody's really going to bother you. Sort of kind of like that thing where you want to be like the invisible person in the room. But in this self-care journey, you have to show up. You have to show up for yourself. That's what this self-care, self is the first word, self-care journey. It's about you focusing on your own care and how you navigate and how you interact and how you weave in and out of different scenarios and circumstances in this life. When you identify your own self-doubt and your own negative self-talk, and you become real with that, you get real with it, meaning you don't have to be embarrassed about it. When you become aware of the moments when you doubt yourself and you start to engage, it's like you have to stop it on its entrance. You have to start to be able to recognize it. First of all, here we go. You got to recognize it. Sometimes some people have so much self-doubt and negative self-talk, you don't even realize that it's there, which it can be even more insidious. If a poison is coming into your life and you're not even aware of it, that's the most deadly, because I don't even know what's happening. Recognize your own self-doubt and your own negative talk, and notice too, you know what? Notice when it begins to happen. Like, is it like in the presence of certain people, or maybe a certain class of people, maybe that make you feel intimidated? Maybe it is when you pinpoint it. Pinpoint when you start to behave and that trigger goes off in your head and you start to just start condemning yourself and you can't do this. Like, I don't even know who you think you are. Like, you're not good enough to be in here. And listen, if I tell you all my self-doubt, my God, oh my God, ooh, I had to literally go in third person and say, Delcy, chill. Like, you need to have a seat somewhere. Like, for real. Because if you don't deal with yourself in that way, you set yourself up for failure. You got to pay attention to the thoughts when they arise and face the challenge. It could be maybe when you're by yourself, when nobody else is around. It could be when you start to get around a lot of people. It could be whenever yours is. Identify it and start to replace it with positive self-talk. Like, for me, because my life and everything that I do is centered around the Bible, the Word of God. And for years I have studied and I have read and I have digested and I have chewed on what the Bible says about me. And so certain things that happen to me, I always come back with either a positive verse in the Bible that is telling me who I am. Like, I know that no weapon formed against me is going to prosper. I know that I am the head and not the tail. I'm above and I'm not beneath. You know what I mean? I know that goodness and mercy is going to follow me all the days of my life. Like, I come back. And even if it's not necessarily a verse from the Bible, I know that I am powerful. I am strong. I can do this. You know what I mean? One of my favorite mottos for myself that I kind of do for me is let's go. That's just, is let's go. That's my conversation that I have with myself when I'm feeling self-doubt or I'm feeling like negative talk starting to arise within my mind. I say, let's go, D. Let's go. Let's go. We doing it. It's happening. It's happening. That's another one of my positive self talks that I replace with the negative. It's happening. This is happening. We moving forward. Let's go. Let's go. And I prepare my mind and I prepare everything that's around me, whether I got to start at nighttime and prepare for whatever is going to happen. And it's like you have to keep your mind saturated and focused on your goal. Like you got to be saturated in this positive, because nothing, you cannot remove the negative and leave it open. You know what I mean? What happens to an empty space? It's gonna fill. That's just the law of gravity. It fills. That empty space somehow is gonna always fill up. You ever notice when you clear off your dresser, or if you clean out your closet, or if you clean out your whatever, little by little it just starts filling up again. It's like something just pulls, like it's just empty, and it's going to get. And the same with our mind. You empty it out with the negative the self-talk and the doubt. And you have to replace it with something positive, like I am strong. I can do this. I will go. I will win. I will succeed. A setback is not failure. A setback is an opportunity for me to grow. A setback is an opportunity for me to learn how to navigate next time even better. You know what I mean? Like, you got to learn how to spin the narrative that's going on in your head. See, it's certain things, right, that we're in control of. It's certain things that we're in control of, and there's certain things that we're not. Those things that you're in control of, handle that. Don't worry about what you're not control. A lot of stuff I can't control. I can't control what somebody else do. I can't control what happens in the weather. I can't control what happens. A whole lot of things I don't control. But that thing that we can control, which is what's going on in our minds and the thoughts that pervade us, I'm controlling that. I can, and I will, and I know that I can. You know what I mean? The reason it's so important for you to do that is because you may not always have a cheerleader that helps you. Like some people say, oh, maybe if I just had somebody that could help me, that could work through with me, da 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 da. You may not have somebody that can help you. Sometimes it's nice. It's nice if you could come and get that cheerleader to say, go D, go D. But sometimes people going through their own stuff. They don't have time to always cheerlead you. They're dealing with their own inner conflict, their own inner negative self-doubt that they may be having and they're dealing with. That's why, having friends and having confidants is great and is necessary. We're social beings. It's a part of our makeup, our DNA. However, there's a lot of parts in life where you have to do it for yourself. You have to be the one to do it for yourself. And to me, this is the foundation. This is the substratum of self-confidence. You got to be able to patch up that hole, right? You got to patch up that hole that's leaking. And here's the thing. At one part, you try to identify where's that leaking coming from, right? Whether it's from trauma, whether it's from childhood, whether it's from past relationships, whether it's just from whatever it's from. We identify what it's from. Okay, we got it. But after a while, it doesn't even matter where it's from. Patch up the hole. When you're driving on a road and you realize that you have a flat tire and you hear a whoop, 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 when you're driving, whoop, 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 you notice something like, oh my God, got a flat tire, right? The first thing is like, well, how did that happen? You're like, how was that happen? What? Let me tell you this. I remember once I was driving on Atlantic Avenue. I will not forget this. I was driving on Atlantic Avenue. And as I was riding on Atlantic Avenue, I saw 3, 4, 5, maybe cars to the side with flat tires with their hazard lights on. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh my God. I was driving like, what happened? And it was a few minutes later, it's like, poof, poof. My car, whoop, whoop, 2 flat tires at one time. For whatever reason, it was something on the road that was sticking up from the ground. And I guess they weren't aware of it or whatever the case may be. But I was like, oh my God. I had 2 flat tires. I could not believe it. And anyway, the first thing that happened, I was like, oh my God, what? And then I realized that, oh, that's what everybody's on the side of the road for. It's, it's a malfunction in the street. It's a faulty road or whatever. But once I realized that what happened, I didn't care. I was like, okay, so how do I fix this? I was on the phone with AAA. I was calling whatever I had to do to fix it. Let's go. I got to get back rolling again. And so that's the same thing. When you realize that you engage so much in negative self-talk, and let me tell you something real quick. I realize, right, and I pay attention to a lot of things, and I notice that people who always are talking about other people, that is sort of kind of their way of maybe diverting from the own negative self-talk that's going on in their own head. You ever notice that, like, sometimes you get people, they always got something to say about somebody, something negative, something condescending, something like, what? Instead of dealing with the negative self-talk that's going on about themselves, that narrative, that whole loop that's going on about themselves, they escape that by coming out and speaking about other people. Like, oh, they want to say negative things about this or negative things about that. Never mind these people. And I know we all have them in our life. Never mind them. Pay them no mind. Overlook them. Overlook them. And focus on you. You know Michael Jackson is my favorite artist, right? He got a song that says, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. Don't play with me. I'll sing the whole song. But to my point, start with yourself. This is a self-care channel. We ain't talking about nobody else. This is self-care. You got to care about that negative loop that's going on in your mind, that narrative that's wreaking havoc on your future, on all of your projects, on all of your relationships. In order for you to build your self-confidence, you got to start right there. Let's shut it down from within. Let me tell you something. I've been in business for many years. And one of the things that I've learned early on in business is that you got to start from the infrastructure. You got to start within the business. Don't worry about what the competitors are doing right now. You pay attention to that as well. But primarily, you focus in-house. You focus on what's going on in your business. Right? Because once you get what's going on inside working strong, then you pay attention to the things that's going on outside that might can infiltrate what's going on inside, right? That's that business model. You got to do that test and you got to do that SWOT analysis on your business. But I'm gonna challenge you to do that on yourself. What's going on inside that's making you feel like you're not good enough and that you're not worthy? Handle that. See, if we pay attention to ourselves and the things that's going on within us, you don't even have time for the drama, for no foolishness. You don't. I promise you. If you commit to yourself, commit to you. You can never regret, right? Committing to yourself. I promise you. I've committed to a lot of things in my life and I've regretted, and I wished I had not have committed to some things and some people, and I regretted it. But one thing I've never regretted is committing to me. Never. Never. Build your self-confidence by by addressing your own self-doubt and your own negative self-talk. Replace that with positive words about yourself. If you want to create some words, if you want to look at positive quotes, if you do it like I do, I go to the word of God, honey. Because if he done said it, it's a done deal. I just got to catch up with what he said about me. That's it. Once he said it, I can't even refute it. Whatever he says is never going to come back to him void. It's going to do that which he sent it to do. So if he said I'm good, I'm good. If he said I can, I can. If he said I am, I am. I am grateful today. Thank you so much for joining us today for this self-confidence building segment. It's so important. It's something you work on every single day. You see how I can never get, I don't think I'm ever going to run out of things to talk about on this channel. I really don't. Because self-care is so, wow. Even as I talk, it's like more things just come to my mind about just things to address. I mean, we haven't even started talking about relationships, and we haven't even started talking about, oh my God, it's so much. I'm excited. I'm privileged, and I'm honored to be here, to be able to share these life jewels and nuggets to help us to be that better version. That, you know what I mean? And sometimes we may say some things, or you may hear something that might step on your toes. But if you're a person that's dedicated to change and you want to be better, so what? So what? It hurt. Like, handle that and keep it pushing. That's it. We're here to get better, not to be entertained. I'm not an entertainer, not at all. Never. That's one thing I never thought I was an entertainer. But I will. I do know how to share. I share. I know how to convey a message very well, and I'm grateful that you're here to be a part of this audience, this conversation. And so, thank you so much again for joining us. This is the Bajo channel, the home of self-care, beauty, and anything that'll help you to become the dopest, flyest, the most illest version of yourself. Thank you again, and please do believe and remember that self-care is the best care. Later.